Hello, hello. My name is Mickey Wright, and I want to welcome you to Beauty Superstars Talk, your backstage pass to experts in beauty. So, thank you much for joining us. And just wondering if you've ever dreamed of working on a movie set, on editorial shoots, or doing hair and makeup for big ad campaigns. So, helping artists like you get booked and showing you how to put your entrepreneurial hat on and step up and ready to play in the whole big world of the business of this beauty industry is what my guest Crystal Wright specializes in. So tonight, in addition to being um, an agent, and she's going to tell us about that part of her story, and representing talent in the beauty and fashion industry to work with film, television, and print. She's actually going to share with us what she's seen in terms of opportunities for Black artists and other people of color from behind the scenes. And so I have a feeling that she just might drop some nuggets tonight to help your career as well. So definitely stay tuned. And before we meet her, it's like I want to welcome you back. This is our series on revisiting diversity and beauty. And last year, many of the brands in the beauty industry made promises to make changes for more diversity, more inclusion, more equity. And we are doing a check-in to see how they're doing and hold them accountable, and also focusing on, what we're doing as far as building exceptional brands of our own, and including suggesting next steps for everyone to move forward. So one of the things I want to emphasize is that this is not a Black conversation. This is a beauty industry conversation. So everyone is invited. We ask you to bring your questions, your comments, your observations, as well as your challenges, and of course, your wins. So for anyone who doesn't know, this show was actually born out of the tragic murder of George Floyd. And the country, as well as the world, quickly erupted, with all of the racial tensions. And a lot of that spilled into the beauty industry pretty quickly. And so with that, I was actually invited to be on a couple of Zoom calls where there were a lot of top Black beauty pros that were part of that conversation. And we got to meet each other. For those of us who didn't know each other, hear stories as far as what we were doing in the industry, as well as what was, things that had happened in terms of racism. And it ranged, from feeling marginalized to out and out discrimination. But everyone on there was exceptional and was doing powerful things in the industry. And so I left there feeling extremely inspired and really with a conviction that these stories have to be told. And so I pivoted my platform to actually showcase these, the best and brightest Black beauty bosses. And I have this privilege, I guess you could say, each and every week. And I've done it for almost a year. So I definitely want to invite you for next Tuesday as we continue this conversation. And you may have noticed for a few months, you started hearing me say thank you to our sponsor, Black Beauty Expo. And you may be wondering, why is Mickey so excited about this trade show? Well, next week, my guest is Weldon Bond, and he's actually the founder of the Black Beauty Expo. So you'll get to see for yourself why I'm so excited and why our brands are such a good fit. And entrepreneurship and creating your own table are two of the things that he is passionate about every single day. And so plan to join us and get ready to really up your game in terms of your business savvy. And so speaking of Black sponsor for this exciting series, the Black Beauty Expo is the hottest show for Black creative entrepreneurs in hair, fashion, photography, modeling, and makeup, all of those parts of the industry. And their next show is Sunday, August the 1st in Atlanta, Georgia, a live show. So be sure to follow them to keep up with the latest news for the show, as well as any special vendor packages. And in addition, I'm super excited to let you know that I'm the Global Education Director for the Black Beauty Expo. And so if you are interested in educating, to please reach out to me. And just to let you know, in addition to next Tuesday, I'll be back again next Thursday with Corinne Corbett, and she's the host of the Start Right Here podcast. And she's actually a former editor-in-chief for Heart and Soul magazine and former beauty director for Essence magazine, as well as a long list of other publications she's headed. So she'll have lots to share about those avenues of beauty. And I want you to be sure to catch my interview. I was actually a guest on her podcast, and where I really got a chance to share my whole story. So that was pretty cool. And in addition, I want to thank the Tease, which is a digital platform for all things hair, beauty, and pop culture. And I appreciate their support for this the talks that we're doing on this topic, and for having me as a guest on their podcast again. It's called Volume Up, and I was invited to talk about why this is such an important industry conversation. And so you can catch it on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, all of your favorite places for podcast, and you'll actually get to hear why I'm excited to talk with each of my guests that are coming up. So, and while you're there, be sure to follow Beauty Superstars Talk on the podcast on there as well. So again, thanks for being here. We'd love to know where you're from. So drop it in the comments section if you can. And as I said, every week I have the privilege to meet with amazing Black beauty bosses who are making their mark in the beauty industry. But more than a podcast, this is actually a movement. It's actually to encourage Black excellence, entrepreneurship, to preserve our history, and to bring healing to our industry. So if you love what we're doing here, you can consider partnering with us. You could contribute $5 or any amount. You can even sponsor a deserving student or beauty pro with training. And so just visit Beauty Superstar, look for the red button. And before we jump into the interview, it's like I'm excited to tell you about just a couple more things, and we'll get to the meat of this. But one is the Savvy Salon Summit. So that's a little tongue twister there, but Savvy Salon Summit. It is a free 3-day virtual event that's going to help you get your groove back after COVID. I'll be teaching there with 11 other incredible educators, and you are invited. If you're not sure that you can make it for the full event, you can actually get the all access pass for only $47. And it actually gives you access to all of the replays as well as a boatload of other bonuses. But check it out and register. It's like you can register on my link tree, which is Mickey Wright. It's linktree.com/Mickey Wright. And Mickey just has 1K, no C's or any other letters, just MIKI. And so it's Sunday through Tuesday, starting on Sunday, May 16th, which is not this week, but the following week. So I hope you'll be able to join us. It's like there's a ton of great education, and it's all designed to really put you in position for 2021. As I like to say, reinventing your salon for success during this time. And I'm also going to be part of a conversation on Clubhouse on Monday with Crown Hunt, which is a new platform to have access for discounted classes for beauty pros and actually other enthusiasts as well. And so we're going to be there at 2 p.m. Eastern on Monday, which is the 10th. And we're going to talk about balancing running a fast growing business with self-care, which is something I know a little bit about. So, and that you can access on Linktree /Mickey Wright. Might have to give me a day to get that one up, but it's like, let me get you on there and join us. It's like, it's going to be a great conversation. And so without further ado, I want to welcome my guest. I want to share with you her bio before we get started. And I also want to say with full disclosure that we have the same last name, but as far as we know, we're not related. So I'm going to do my best here to get her on. She's on another station, I guess you could say here. Here she is. Hi, Crystal.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I don't mean to mess up your broadcast, but I just realized that I was on Firefox instead of Chrome as you instructed me to be.
Okay.
And it was why certain things weren't working right on my computer, but here I am. And
Yay. Welcome. You have been traveling to get to us, so I'm so happy that you're here.
My goodness.
So tell us about that. It's like your journey.
Well, yeah, I was in the United Kingdom. I was in Liverpool. And my flight was canceled. What's new? 2020, 2021. My flight was canceled. I had to make new arrangements, which meant that I had to fly in from Manchester to London, stay overnight, and then get up in the morning. I left there at 10 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
I arrived in their time, and I arrived in Seattle at 11:30 this morning, and I got here and got myself together so I could be here with you.
Yay. Yeah, when I got your text, I was like, hallelujah, she's here.
Right. So if I'm a little bit loopy, everybody try to understand. And I see some people saying hello to me in the comments. Keisha, hi, how are you? I see a bunch of people. Some of them I can't see their names, but I can't comment. But I want you guys to know, I know that you're here. I see you. Yay!
Yeah, there's Keisha Mine saying,
yes,
right.
Yes.
We've got Facebook user. And for anybody who's on Facebook, if you want us to see your name, you can go down to the bottom of this post and it'll say, give StreamYard permission to show your name. You don't have to, but it does allow us to say hello. So good evening, Queens is the message there from our Facebook user. We've got another one that says, looking fabulous, ladies. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we have another hi, Crystal, from a Facebook user. Let's see. Hello, ladies. We have quite a few folks here. And then we have Thomas, who's here, Thomas St. Jacques. Thank you so much for your support. Says hello, and Mickey and guest Crystal.
Hi.
Nicola Forbes is here, says hi, Crystal, and hi, Mickey. So welcome, everybody. We're super excited that you're here. It's like we have a great show. We're going to have a great conversation tonight, but I do want to start with just sharing your bio for anyone who may have just fallen onto the planet and not know who you are. About Crystal Wright, she is an author, business coach, and educator. Her book, The Hair, Makeup, and Fashion Styling Career Guide, is regarded as the industry Bible by renowned hair and makeup artists worldwide. Her foray into beauty and entertainment began with the launch of Crystal Agency for makeup, hair, and wardrobe in Los Angeles. As a celebrity styling agent, she negotiated television, film, magazine, and advertising contracts for a talent roster who regularly worked with and traveled with A-list celebrities, including Halle Berry, Kerry Washington, Pink, Will Smith, Alec Baldwin, Janet Jackson, Jim Carrey, Dave Chapelle, Tyra Banks, Simon Baker, and Charlize Theron, to name a few. That's quite a few. In her role as a business coach and mentor, Crystal gets artists unstuck by helping them build confidence, establish and market their brand, and connect the dots in their career toward lasting collaborative professional relationships with clients, photographers, and celebrities. As an educator, her focus is business. She helps artists to find and use their outside voices to achieve their goals, be productive, feel respected, and confident about their futures. Her 12-week online course, the Win Now Mentorship Academy, mentorship program, and her private one-on-one coaching serves artists and entrepreneurs who are ready to level up and live their dreams. So we love that.
Ooh, that sounds good, doesn't it? Did I like that?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think I need to get like one of those applause machine things so it can go.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Hi, Nicola. Oh, that's awesome. She met me at Manifa's class.
Yes, what a blessing. So awesome. And then Keisha says, team win now.
Team win now. Yes, Keisha is one of my win now graduates.
Awesome. Yeah, we absolutely love that. I always love to find out, like, how did you get started in this industry? Because you're in like this other niche, that we can't wait to find out more about. But what was it that interested you in beauty?
I didn't have any intention of being in beauty. It was like a double accident. It was a double accident. The first accident was me meeting this photographer at a party at Muhammad Ali's house many years ago, and deciding to quit my job at Xerox and be his agent. And then the other accident was after he fired me, his top makeup artist asked me to be her agent.
Okay, so you became a photographer's agent and then a makeup artist agent.
And then a makeup artist agent. Exactly. I hadn't intended to do either one of those things. And in fact, 6 months before I became, no, not 6 months before, 2 days 7 days before I became the photographer's rep, I didn't know there was such a thing as a photographer's rep.
Okay.
Like, until I met him at the party and then went to his studio, I had no idea. I remember walking into the studio just being amazed. He had these huge images on his walls, images of Essence magazine covers, ad campaigns, and things like that. And I didn't know anything about that business. I just completely fell into it. The magic of it was that I was looking for something else to do.
Okay.
The magic was that I'd had enough of selling copiers, and I just didn't want to tell anybody else that the paper traveled in a perfectly straight path from the paper cassette to the receiving tray.
Okay.
And I'm simplifying it because I was selling $100,000 copiers, but
Right.
I just wanted to do something else. I thought it was going to be fashion because I'd always loved fashion. I met this photographer, and next thing I knew, instead of driving from my apartment to Long Beach every day, I was driving to Van Nuys, California.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us, like you said, 2 days before, you didn't even know what it was.
Mm-mm.
Most of us don't know what it was. I never heard of it as a career path, like, oh, well, maybe you should consider being an agent. So what exactly is an agent or rep? And then what do you do, like, on a daily basis? What's your actual role?
On a daily basis, you advocate for the people who are in your charge. Okay. You advocate for the artists to ensure that they are going to work in a safe work environment. You advocate for them so that they get the rate that they deserve. You're advocating for them because you want to make sure that they get paid after they do the work. And you also advocate for them in that you're directing their careers. If you're a good agent, you're sitting down with them, you're looking at the work that they have, and you're looking forward 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Where do you want to be, and what do we have to do to get there? I'm very much the kind of person that likes to plan a course. And when I represented artists, that's what I did. And now I do the same thing in my one-on-one coaching. It's about, where are we now? Where are we trying to go? And then I write the plan that I think is going to be best for the artists that I'm coaching. And then we have a discussion about it.
Okay. So you're kind of seeing, okay, this is the work that you have. And, it's like, oh, we may not have thought about this avenue, or maybe there's an opportunity over here. Is that?
Yes, there's that. But it starts with, where do you want to be in 5 years? Mm-hmm. And then looking at the portfolio to see if the body of work that you have and that you are creating is going to get you where you want to be in 5 years. And if not, what do we have to do to fix it? And it can be all kinds of things. Sometimes it can be as simple as rearranging a portfolio. Okay. Sometimes people actually have the work, they just don't know how to lay it out. Mm-hmm. Right?
Presentation.
But the presentation is everything. Other times it can be that your work is gorgeous, but it's not going to get you where you want to be in 5 years. You could be doing beautiful work that's really glamorous, but if you want to be working on lifestyle Nike ads and Crest ads, then this work does not translate to the decision makers who are hiring people for those kinds of jobs. So it can be different things. Sometimes it's, your work is gorgeous, but you're not asking enough money for people to take you seriously. Mm-hmm. That becomes a challenge for artists because they a lot of times don't know how to ask for the money. They don't know how to ask for the money. They don't know. I do this exercise in Win Now. It's called the Adding Value Challenge. And it's huge because the way artists believe that they add value and what their clients think are often two different things. And the disconnect can be so huge that you always find yourself competing on price. Mm-hmm. Because you don't know how to share how you add value in a way that resonates with your clients.
Right. Okay. And that completely makes sense because I find that with a lot of hairstylists, or, other beauty professionals just
Hmm.
in a clientele based business. It's like that their perception of how they add value is a lot different. So that makes
Right.
sense. Yeah.
Right.
So your
Yeah,
coach kind of helps them make the shift into what the client's looking for and how they value it.
exactly. And finding out, our artists are so afraid to ask their clients, but the clients that like them are dying to tell them why they like them.
Mm.
They want to tell them. And I always say, every time you go to Jamba Juice, every time you go to Bloomingdale's, and every time you go to bank, they ask you to fill out a survey, but
Mm,
try to get a hairstylist to survey her clients on
mm,
paper about what the clients really like, why they're coming to them, why they left the stylist they were with to come to them, because everything that they learn is the only information they should be communicating to new clients who
mm,
are interested in them, who then are taken aback by the number. You
mm.
can, it's like, it's so easy to get over that when you can dial into what is important to the client.
Wow. Okay.
It
That's just like a pause here and like let that soak in.
Let that Keisha knows she had to do it. She hates me for it, but she loves me for it.
Right.
Uh, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's powerful. Very powerful
Yeah.
because
And it isn't any different in the freelance world
mhm,
because clients will show you by either rebooking you or not booking you that
mhm,
there's something they either liked a lot or they didn't like at all. But if you don't ask them, you never know, which is
mhm,
why you can continue to make mistakes because you never found out what the mistake was.
mm. Right, right. And I guess my experience is that we get in our heads and we take it personally. We think it's about, oh, they didn't like me, or they didn't like,
Uh-huh.
or I'm not likable, or something along that line. And so I feel rejected per se when, like you say,
Hmm.
if you ask the questions, it's like you might get a completely different answer.
Completely different answer.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
interesting because on the salon side, whenever I ask women who work in salons, and I say women because 95% of my clients are women, you ask them and they'll tell you, say, why do you think you add value? Well, I went to Aveda. I went to this school. I went to that school. I have the best products. I have this. The client doesn't even know what products you're using.
Or what a Veda is a lot of times.
They don't care what school you went to. But the things that you'll hear are about why they like you is your environment is so calm when I get here.
Mhm,
I really like that it's really calm. Or you're always on time and you listen to me. And it's this series of 5 questions you ask that once you've talked to 5 or 10 clients, those answers, 90% of those answers will work for every other client that you haven't even met yet.
mhm. Yeah. 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 Again, powerful because
It's
it's like you say, different than what we think in our head as artists.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, as an agent, when an artist goes to work for a client, especially when they work for them the first time, I'm the one that picks up the phone and calls the client and says, so tell me, what do you think? Is there any area where she can improve? Did everything go as smoothly as you thought? Did you feel like you could really work with this artist? And then the client will tell you, and you take that feedback and give it to the artist, and the artist if you think of feedback as a building blocks,
Mhm, mhm.
every piece of feedback that you get is actually a stair taking you to the next level and fine tuning what you have to offer.
Right.
That's what feedback is.
Mhm. Yeah. So as far as building up the confidence, for us to receive that feedback, any tips on that? Because I've always perceived you as a very confident person, and I don't know exactly where that comes from, but what can we do to become more confident in ourselves?
Well, one of my sheroes is Mel Robbins.
Mm-hmm.
And Mel Robbins says that we build confidence with small acts of everyday courage.
Nice.
And so there are always some things that we don't want to do. There are always some things that scare us. And my biggest tip for people is to start with something small. Start with something small that you want, something that you want to ask for, that you're afraid to ask for. Start with something small and start exercising that muscle, because it takes knowing that the ceiling does not fall in. Nobody's going to get mad at you, that you're not going to have a big confrontation.
Right.
Sometimes learn to say no.
Mm-hmm.
No is huge. No without an explanation. No doesn't need an explanation. No doesn't need any help. No doesn't need an explanation. And I always say that the only thing an explanation does is open up a door to a conversation that you already know you don't want to have. Right. If you say no, and this is the reason why, the reason opens up the door to the conversation. If you just say, I always say, oh, no, and smile.
Done.
Yeah, but ask. I'll give you an example. I was at this hotel, and I booked the hotel through Expedia, and it said that there was a desk. This is why I made sure, because I know I'm going to be doing some work. I get to the room. It's a very nice room, but there's no desk. There's a little round table, not even big enough for this laptop I'm sitting in front of, and my mouse pad, because I'm a girl that still uses a mouse and a mouse pad, okay? There's nowhere to put it. So I called downstairs and I said, you know what? When I booked this room, it said that there was a desk here, but there's no desk in my room. The lady says, yes, there is a desk. I said, where? She said, well, it's a little table. I said, no, that's a table. That's not a desk. Now, I could have made a huge thing about it, but instead I thought to myself, I'm going to let Expedia fight this battle for me.
Uh-huh.
I called Expedia and I told Expedia that their website says it has a desk. It doesn't have a desk. Every single page says it has a desk. I said, would you do me a favor and could you just call the front desk and let them know I'm really going to need a desk? And see, they had this lounge, but the lounge was closed because of the pandemic.
Right.
And I told the guy about the lounge. The manager called me up. I was just as sweet as I could be. The manager called me up. He said, we've got another room. It's not clean yet. We're going to do it, but it has a desk. But I'd already seen it when he described it. It was a coffee table, which meant I was going to have to lean over for 3 hours. And I said, well, what about the lounge? He said, well, you can't because of the pandemic. To make a long story short, he ended up meeting me downstairs and we had the nicest conversation. And he looked around and he said, the moral of that story is biblical.
Okay.
You have not because you ask not.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It is so simple. Are you going to get every single thing you ask for? No. But can you increase your odds sometimes to 80, 90%? Yes, right. By asking all the time. And it is a huge, huge confidence builder. Sometimes people don't ask because they say, I don't have the right words. I don't have the right words. But if you say it and it doesn't come out exactly the way you want, the next time you say it, it gets better and it gets easier. And the next time it gets better and it gets easier. But you have to try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. But I love that as far as the whole confidence, because I think that's one of the challenges we have with retailing, with, lots of different things that could make a huge difference in our in our career, moving forward, because I'm sure there's even some people watching who, like I was asking at the beginning, have kind of always dreamed about, doing some of these things, but they haven't found out what's the next step, what's the first step, and just, made a step. And so,
yeah,
it's huge.
Just, start by asking the question, and the other thing is, ask people who either really know or have some experience in what it is you're trying to do. Because there are just as many people out there who got discouraged and decided not to try because somebody dissuaded them, or somebody who really didn't know gave them some information that wasn't correct, and they just stopped or they just gave up.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something else. This is not the kind of business you can just give up. If you're going to give up, don't even start. Don't waste your time, because, when I look at the internet, everybody tells every single person, you can make $1 million doing this. I made $1 million and you can make $1 million. And we get very seduced by the shiny objects. It's so shiny that $1 million, you can do it. This person made 20 million. This person's working with Beyonce. This person's doing that. That's true. But it doesn't usually happen overnight. And if you go into it realizing that the fun of it, part of the fun of it is overcoming the obstacles. Part of the fun of it is learning along the way. Part of the fun of it is figuring it out. Then you won't be discouraged and want to give up. But if you think it's going to happen tomorrow, if you think that you're going to read my book, The Hair, Makeup, and Fashion Styling Career Guide today, and Beyonce is going to hire you tomorrow, you're going to be disappointed.
Right. Yeah.
But if you realize that that book is the first step, and then there's another step, and you gain experience and you gain confidence, then embrace the journey.
Right. Because you're going to need to learn all those things along the way when you get that opportunity to be able to keep. Yeah.
There's no shortcut to what you have to learn. Some of it you can learn in books, and some of it you have to learn on the job.
Right. Yeah. I love what you were saying earlier about be careful who you listen to. And I've been seeing just so many different questions, I guess you could say, or post on different Facebook groups, like, what should I do with this? Or how do I do that? And, it's like I was having a conversation with a client yesterday, and it's like, there's no context for their answer. It's just a bunch of people saying a bunch of different things that may have no bearing with you whatsoever, because it's just like, oh, what price should I charge? Oh, I don't know. Well, this is what I charge, but what do you charge based on anything,
Right.
And so you just end up more confused, and like you say, discouraged before you even get started if you don't take the time and kind of ask the right people and keep asking.
I was on an Instagram. This had been about 6 months ago, and these two girls were talking about working in film and TV. And one of them was saying, well, it costs $10,000 to get into the union. And I was sitting there, and it was one of those moments where I should have thought about what I was saying. And I wrote in the thing, that's not true.
Right.
Like, it's so far from the truth. Because the truth is that it costs less than half of that. The other truth is you don't even have to pay it all at once. But imagine that you're an artist who has been dreaming of working in film and television.
Right.
And now you're listening to these two losers tell you that it's going to cost you $10,000 to get into the union. And you go in your head, well, I'm never going to be able to do that then.
Right.
It's just wrong. It's just not true.
Right.
And I ended up talking to one of them later on, and I just said, but it's not true. I don't know where you got that information, but you just gave that information. There were like 80 people listening to you. You just gave that information to 80 people, and somebody is going to take it to heart and then be heartbroken.
Right. Right. Yeah. Be careful in these streets. It's like
be careful in these streets, because people don't know. My favorite are people who are doing classes to help you work with celebrities, and they've never worked with any celebrities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They've never worked with any celebrities. They wouldn't know who to call to get a job from the celebrity. They don't know who the decision makers are, but they're telling you they can help you get jobs with celebrities,
right,
or on magazines. And if you go to their website, you go to their Instagram, you don't see a single celebrity or a single magazine, but you want to believe it so badly that you go for it. And I've known people to spend thousands of dollars to, if they just spent $39.95 or $49.95 on the book, they would have had a foundation from which to not just learn, but ask the right questions to go along with what they know. So anyway,
right.
Don't get me on my horse now.
Okay. Well, your book, you mentioned your book, and it is, considered the freelancer's Bible. And so what made you write it, and what was writing it like?
There was a very specific thing that happened that made me write it.
Okay.
When I lived in LA, I lived around the corner from the Joe Blasco makeup school. Now, Joe Blasco was a big, huge makeup school. He had a school in LA, had a school in Miami. He might have had one more school. And a young lady had gone to school there and graduated, and she sent me a letter. She sent me a letter. She was from Arizona. She had moved to California to go to school. She wanted to be a Hollywood makeup artist. And she didn't learn a single thing about how to run her business. She didn't have a clue about how to put together a portfolio. She didn't have a clue about how to become somebody's assistant. She didn't have a clue about how to put together a resume. She didn't know any of it. And I was heartbroken that this girl had spent something like, this was 20, 30 years ago. She had spent something like $13,000 to get this education. And she ended up going back to Arizona because she didn't know how to get a job.
Right.
I always say doing makeup and doing hair is great. Getting paid to do makeup and do hair is much, much better.
Agreed.
Right? And so that's what inspired me. She inspired me to write a book. And when I first started writing it, it was only going to be 18 pages.
Wow.
It was just going to be a little notebook. I was had my little yellow pad. And I was like, what should I tell him? And that's how I did it. I did a brain dump.
Okay.
I just started writing down everything I thought that an artist should know. And one of the other things was because I owned an agency. At that particular time, there were like 5 agencies in LA, but not everybody was going to be able to get an agent. But that didn't mean you couldn't work because you didn't have an agent. You just had to know what the agents knew about how to get you jobs.
Wow. Yeah. How profound is that?
Right. And that's why when Rennie and I did the Win Now mentorship program, the idea was to teach people how to represent themselves.
Okay. And that's Rennie Vasquez.
Yeah.
For anyone who's...
How to teach people to represent themselves. And just what they needed to do, who they needed to talk to, what they needed to say, what should they do with their social media. The thing is, if there's a disconnect between your website and your social media, it's a problem.
Okay.
But anyway, back to the book. That was what inspired me to do the book.
Wow.
And so I did the first one. And I could only get Samuel French Bookstore in Los Angeles on Sunset Boulevard to carry it. And when I took it to them, they told me nobody was going to buy it because it was $39.95.
Wow.
He said, nobody's going to buy it. I said, I think they will. He said, no, not for this. Because this was 1994, 95, $39.95 for a book.
Yeah.
He said nobody would buy it. But 2 weeks later, he called me up and ordered 24. I asked him if he would take 10. He said yes, under duress. And then 2 weeks later, they were all gone.
Wow.
And he bought 24 more. And I drove up there in my Volkswagen Jetta to in front of the store, opened up the trunk, took out the books and handed them to him.
Okay.
And then 2 months later, he called me from Chicago, from the American Booksellers Association. And he said, I need 200, was it 250 or 500 of those books?
Wow.
I said, not that $39.95 book nobody was going to buy. He said, I can't understand it. You know, and it changed people's lives. I've got stacks and stacks, binders full of thank you cards.
Wow.
And I still get them to this day. And this is the 7th edition of this book.
Wow. Yeah. Well, congratulations, because that is powerful. And it's like you say, it is life-changing, and people have really, it's needed. It's like when you have a business, it's about creating solutions to the problems that people have. And you really just took that niche and ran with it. So.
Right. And it will help you, even if you don't decide that you want to freelance. If you don't want to do print, if you don't want to do TV and film, that book will still help you in your business in the salon. Right. Ask Keisha. Where's Keisha?
She's on here. Yes. It's like, she says, Crystal is the queen of the beauty biz. That's Facebook user. And then I have Keisha Mine. She's the best. Yeah. It's like, definitely. So we've got just so much information. It's like, I love what you were sharing. So you've been in this business for quite a little while. And, it's like this whole month is about diversity. It's like, you're our legend. So it's like, I really appreciate you being here and just sharing all your expertise. But I just wondered, what are the changes that you may have seen or not seen in the industry in your career in terms of racial equality and diversity? You've been behind the scenes with the people who are hiring the talent and, potentially choosing the models and those types of things. So what are your observations?
Well, it's funny because there were so many things when you sent me that, you asked me that question. There were so many things that I remembered from when I first started. First of all, when I first started an open crystal agency, they used to call it the Black Agency.
Wow.
Right? Let's just put this little Black girl in her place.
Okay. Yeah.
We want everybody to know that this is the Black Agency. And at the time, and I've always represented a very diverse group of people. I can remember one of my artists going to a job, little blonde hair, blue-eyed girl with tattoos all over, going to a job, and somebody at the job asked her, why are you over there at the Black Agency?
Oh.
I remember her saying to me, Crystal, if you had blonde hair and blue eyes, nobody would have anything to say. I said, yeah, exactly. It's true.
Right.
I can remember when, if you were a Black photographer, you never got to shoot white people. Didn't happen. I was representing Bobby Holland, and he was an amazing photographer, but they did not allow Black men to take pictures of white women. And we're talking about 1985.
Wow.
Right? I used to do a ton of work for A&M Records. I used to work for all the record labels. A&M, Atlantic, Sony, CBS, Def Jam. I worked for all of the record labels. I can remember the woman at A&M after working for her for 5 years. And when I say her, I mean, she was the creative director. Everyone reported to her.
Okay.
And I went in and asked her, could I have a meeting with her? And I sat down and I said, let's say her name is Sandy. I said, Sandy, are you ever going to give me a white band to do? She turned red and never hired me again.
Oh, okay. Done.
Right? Now, I'd worked on Janet Jackson at A&M Records, all of the top Black artists, but they were not about to give me a white artist to work on, even when the photographers that I was representing were white.
Right.
That's how deep it was. That's how deep it was. And let's see. I sent a makeup artist one time, Allison, to do a rock band. She was booked and everything. They loved her book. And back then we used to send books by messenger. They loved her book. It was very diverse. When she arrived and they saw the Black girl, they sent her home and just paid the invoice. Okay. And so what has changed? I think one of the things that changed was when Frederick Parnell, the hairstylist, was doing Kim Cattrall's hair for Sex and the City. This brother was turning that hair out. He was turning that hair out because there was this assumption that if you were Black, you couldn't work on white hair, which was insane, right? And we all know that. So one of the things that has changed is that there are a lot more young people in the business, in positions of power, who replaced all of those old brains, those old ways, those old beliefs. When they came in, because they had lived a diverse life. You're talking about now 20-somethings who were coming into the workforce, who lived in an more integrated world. They were creative, so they didn't have all the issues. And they had friends that were Black and Asian and Indian and all of this. And so it never occurred to them not to, if they saw a portfolio that they liked and they booked somebody, when the person showed up, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But when I first started, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. And so I think the most important thing now for artists is, number one, know that some people are still going to be shocked if they see your beautiful portfolio, hire you, and you show up and you're not what they thought you were. But you can minimize that so quickly. As long as you don't go to a place, as long as you don't go to the place that they're going in their heads, you can level that playing field so easily by just walking in and just going, oh my God, hi, how's everyone doing today? I'm Denise, I'm the hairstylist, and I'm so excited to be working with you. And just level it. You have to stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Right.
If you want to do film and television, you have to present. If you don't, listen, there are some African-American actresses who still want to work with people who have a diverse background and can show it to them in their work. And that means, as people of color, you need to present yourself as someone who can do more than just one thing, which is Black hair. You know why? Because back in the day, only the Benetton ads had a Black, an Asian, a white, and an Indian. But now, if you go to work for Banana Republic, there's going to be a a white dude with a black girl and an Indian guy with an Asian girl. And you have to be able to, they're not just going to hire you to do one person's hair. They're going to hire you to do everybody's hair or everybody's makeup. So you have to present that in your portfolio so that you give other people the confidence to hire you and bring you on.
Right. So talk to us about, I mean, what you shared is pretty stunning, and it's recent, it sounds like, oh my gosh, it was that long ago, but it wasn't that long ago. And so I just have to say how sobering it is, I guess, to hear, the out and out blatant, you're the black girl agent,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You could call the other agents if a client called one of the other agencies and said that their client, maybe an actor or an actress, really wanted an African American hairstylist because they wanted somebody who could do their hair, they would say, "Oh, call the black agency."
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's interesting.
But here's one thing I will say, because that's the kind of thing that upsets us. But you got to remember, you got to get in where you fit in. If you get a job by default,
right,
it isn't any different than the understudy, the ballet, the ballerina getting her shot because the main ballerina came down with the flu.
Right.
You got to take your shot when you get it. You can't spend your time being upset because you didn't get called first. Get in where you fit in, show up, show out.
Yeah.
And it will open other doors for you.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the beautiful thing that I saw on the call that I referenced, as far as the Zoom call, where it was just a bunch of top black artists, and some of them I knew, some of them I didn't, but it was just, you could see the level of professionalism, the level of where they're playing in all aspects of the beauty industry. And even though a lot of the things that they shared, I mean, it was deeply painful, some of the things that they shared, and yet they're still at the top of their game and still, moving forward, and it didn't stop them one bit.
And I think it's important to remember who we come from. It's important to remember how many people died fighting so we could just get here.
Right.
And what we go through is nothing compared to what Black people went through 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago. This is nothing.
Right.
So it's just like you say, the people at the top of their game have had and sometimes continue to have experiences that make you just, did somebody blink your eyes? Like, did they just say that to me? But you have to remain professional. That doesn't mean you allow people to walk all over you.
Right.
But it does mean that we have always known that we had to work harder. We had to be better. That hasn't changed.
Yeah. Yeah. And in a lot of ways, I think that's unfortunate, because I think that's a heavy weight to carry around with you, and it's like, and it's how all of us are raised, it's like,
right.
10 times faster, do it twice as good, it's like, just, but it's like, what if we could just be, where would the creativity be? Where would the, the ease of doing what we do be? When we're already elevating here, it just opens the roof, I guess you could say.
Right. But you know what? That would be nice if it had been that way, but it hasn't been that way, and it's not going to be that way. So, talking about it over a margarita is fine, but it's not going to change anything.
Right. Right.
It's like, this is where we are. We're right here, right now. What are we going to do now? And, one of the things that you said was the level of professionalism. And it is so uber important. The professionalism, when you don't have other things that other people have, but you're more professional than everyone else, you can get the job.
Right.
Because people will trust you more, because you're doing everything right, because you're crossing your T's and you're dotting your I's. Professionalism is so important. And in the Win Now Mentorship Program, I know I drive them crazy about the professionalism. I mean, we do cover letters. People are like, oh, thank you. We do cover letters. And I am so serious about these cover letters, because when you send them out, and Mickey, you'll know this, if somebody sends you a cover letter because they want to be on your team, or they want to intern for you, or they want to assist you, and it's got all these typos in it, it's not formatted properly, but you get a letter that is on point in every way, what do? You're
going to bring them on, at least have
You're going to bring them on. You're going to give them an interview. You're going to give them a shot. You're going to have the conversation. And that is just like getting in where you fit in. It's a tool. Professionalism is a tool that when wielded properly opens up all kinds of doors. Professionalism will get you recommended by people who don't even hire you.
Right.
The person to interview you may not be able to hire you, but they'll recommend you to somebody else because you showed up and you showed out in such an amazing way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to shift gears just a little bit, because you mentioned the portfolio, and, like you were saying back in the day, it'd be sent by messenger or what have you. What does a portfolio look like now? It's like, I know it used to be the little carry case, and, you have
now it's online.
Obviously. Yeah.
Now it's on
what that looks like online, and how to, any little tidbits you can give me.
Okay, here are a couple of things. Number one, it's important to categorize the work that you have according to genres.
Okay.
And what I mean by genres is beauty is a genre, fashion is a genre, right? Men's grooming is a genre. So if you have work that fit in, lifestyle is a genre. If you have work that fits into those categories, your website should have those categories on it. Why? Because a decision maker is not usually looking for a jack of all trades. If I'm a decision maker, I'm working on a particular kind of job. I'm working on an Adidas campaign. That means I need somebody who focuses on lifestyle. If I go to your website and all the pictures are all jumbled up together, and I can't go and to the pull down and go to lifestyle and see what you've done, you're going to make me just go through 100 pictures? No, I don't have time. I'm going to come there. I'm going to spend 5 seconds on your website. I'm going to leave and go to somebody else. So it's really important to look at your work objectively and decide where it fits, and then create the space that it fits in on your website.
Huge.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I'll give you another one. I'll give you a good one. See, because this is the thing about Instagram that a lot of people don't know they can do with Instagram. They call Instagram their portfolio. But the thing is this: if you're doing beauty work and you're doing lifestyle work and you're doing fashion work and you're hashtagging your work, if you create a unique hashtag for your fashion work, a unique hashtag for your beauty work, a unique hashtag for your lifestyle work, and whenever you do a lifestyle picture, you put that unique hashtag in, that unique hashtag over time becomes a portfolio. And you can add a link to your Instagram unique portfolio and share it with people.
So how do you do the link part to the hashtag?
Oh, because when you go, you don't have to do the link. The hashtag is the link.
Is the link. Okay, got it. Okay.
And if you put in the hashtag and it's a unique hashtag, it will take you to a page, and all you'll see, because it's unique and you made it up, is all your work for that genre in that segment.
Got it.
Right?
Nice.
I know. That was hot. Because I only thought of that like last year. I was like, I'll be darned. Because with my career guide, my unique hashtag is Crystal Wright Career Guide.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go and put in Crystal Wright Career Guide, what it's going to do is take you to a page, and what you're going to see is a bunch of stuff and lots of other people who have the career guide.
Right, right.
Or anything with me in the career guide, because I use that hashtag. And I went back to old pages where I had used that hashtag and took it out if it didn't have anything to do with the career guide.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Makes sense. Makes sense. Love it.
Is that sexy?
Yeah. Black beauty culture of Nova Scotia says genre is important. Titania Greg says golden nugget. And Keisha Mine says gems, baby. Yes. It's like we have quite a few folks here and lots of comments, which is wonderful. Thank you all for being here. Two of my favorites. Hey, y'all. It's Veronique Morrison. So, hey.
Veronique. Oh, my God. You know, Veronique hired me and took me out with Mazzani on tour.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Veronique did. She sure did. That was a blast.
Absolutely. It's like we've got so many comments. We really, really appreciate everyone's comments. And then I know I saw earlier, try to go through here. Fatima says she bought the first edition of Crystal's book. It was a game changer. Yeah. Yes. It's like she was my guest on Tuesday, and wow, we had some really, really good conversation. So it's like, if you guys missed it, definitely go to beautysuperstars.com to catch the replay, or you can do it on youtube.com/Mickey Wright. But definitely catch the Fatima interview that I did. She was the first one to kick off this month on diversity, and powerful. Plus some really good nuggets to boost your career like way high. So love it. Let's see here. We've got another Facebook user. Please believe these nuggets of gold. She knows what she speaks. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, with where we are now, you know, we're coming out of COVID. I mean, COVID's still going on. I know that the industry for a while was shut down in terms of, you know, film and television, at least. I don't even know that much with the editorial space. They got to open up a little bit earlier, I know, like in California and what have you. But where are you seeing, like, where are your students seeing opportunity?
They are working.
They're working. Okay, good. We're glad
they are working. One of my students, A. Renee Dyson, just went to Greece. She's in Athens doing a show.
Okay.
And she just finished doing a show. The thing is, it's time to put yourself back out there. There is work out there. People are working. They're working in New York. They're working in California. They're working in Atlanta. And it's really just time to put yourself back out there to get work.
Okay.
That's all. People are working.
Right.
All my clients are working.
Awesome. Awesome.
And my grads are working. And they're working.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we love to hear that, because I know at one point I was watching several of my friends, you know, at home during the lockdown, and just like, okay, it's like, when is this going, or what have you?
But you know, the thing is that the lockdown was an opportunity to fine tune your presentation and to continue to self-promote, because a lot of people were just working from home. It wasn't that everybody stopped work. Obviously, a lot of people stopped working, but some people were working from home. And when I was telling artists, you need to be sending your comp card out. You need to be sending links out to your portfolio. You need to be doing this. You need to be, well, who's going to see it? What do you mean, who's going to see it? The people that are art directors that are still on payroll are at home, and they are working. And before, they didn't have time to even get your email. Now they do. Send it.
Exactly.
And now things are picking up again, and they've already picked up, and things are getting busy again. I think a lot of people miss the opportunity to put themselves out there because they were worried about what was going on or how it was going to be received, instead of thinking, well, some people are still working from home. And if they don't want to see your stuff, or they don't like it, they just won't respond, or if they don't want to be bothered. But the most important thing about being successful is consistency. It's just as simple. You can't, if you have a plan, and when I put together a plan for artists and I say, this is what I want you to do, and I want you to do it every month, you have to do it every month, regardless of how you feel about it, regardless of whether anybody returns your emails, because Bloomingdale's sends you an email once you opt in until you opt out.
Right.
And this is the way you have to run your business as a freelancer. So it is the time to put yourself out there and send stuff to people and keep doing it regardless of whether they respond or not. Because every time you stop for a couple of months and get inside your head, that was the first thing you said, and you start over 2 or 3 months later, you're doing just that, starting over. You lost all of your momentum.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love what you were saying about the downtime with COVID or what have you. It's like, that was, we're exactly on the same page. It's like, this is your time to prepare for when this all, is over, because, put your plan in place, do your contacts, all of those types of things, and even take time to do a breather, because it's like, sometimes it's like you get so wound up that you're not as creative. You have the space and this time to be like, oh, wow. It's like, okay, well, maybe I could do this, and maybe there's a way to, and maybe you're even thinking about, a certain campaign or something that you'd like to do. And maybe there's an idea that you get about it, that makes you a little bit more valuable or to stand out.
Right.
So, yeah.
The pandemic was the perfect time to create mood boards.
Okay. So tell us what a mood board is.
A mood board is an idea that you have for a shoot.
Okay.
Okay. And if you're the hairstylist, the mood board can include images that you pulled from Pinterest or magazines, to put together a board to show what the sort of the storyline is, what you want to do with the hair, what the looks are going to be, what you're thinking about in terms of makeup. It's an opportunity to start collaborating with other people, sharing your idea with other people, getting other people on board so that you can prepare to execute that. But that's what a mood board is.
Okay.
And see, they do it in advertising all the time.
Okay. Okay. So is that like the same as a storyboard type of setup, or is that a little different?
It's a little bit different than a storyboard, because a storyboard is going to give you scene by scene by scene.
Oh, okay.
But the mood board is going to, hold on. I got to plug this computer in or we're not going to be together.
Okay.
There we go. A mood board gives you more of the theme, the feeling of what you want to do. Okay. A mood board is going to say, okay, it could talk about the eyes, what you're going to do with the eyes, what you're going to do with the cheeks, what the wardrobe is going to look like, the range of what you're going to do in a single mood board.
Okay.
But a storyboard is just going to have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the 6 shots that we have to get today. And it's the progression of something, but a mood board is going to include the colors.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And we had a question here from Nairi Matthews, who says, can you do a mood board with nails?
Of course you can.
Yes.
Why couldn't you? And mood boards are great to pitch to photographers to get them to want to work with you.
Awesome. Yeah. I love that. And Keisha Mine says the whole vision. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I love that. Like you say, like this is, you said mainly for like a photo shoot. And so, like you said, pitching the photographers that you may want to work with. If you're a hair person, maybe pitching the makeup artist, if you're makeup hair, that type of thing to have this
Right.
collaboration.
Because you have to remember that creative people are creative.
Right.
And they are drawn to images. So it's one thing to tell them what you want to do, what your idea is. It's something altogether different to pull images together and say, this is the direction that I'd like to go. And then you get a bunch of people standing around going, oh yeah, I totally get it.
Okay. Yeah. And I totally get that because I've had some ideas in the past where no one could see it until I executed it. And it's like, oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
The leopard
right.
hair. I wanted to create the leopard hair. It's like I kept trying to tell people, not a lot of people, but some people, it's like, I'm going to make some hair to match my outfit. And they're like, what?
Right. Exactly. It's exactly that. When you can go to, magazines and online and type in what you're looking for, and you can get all these outrageous things. And then you just start pulling them together and laying them down so people can see. Right. It's also an opportunity for people to choose. To see where you're going, but you can also present options. Right. Well, I was thinking we could do this or this, but you got to show it to them. And they're like, oh, yeah. It's a great way to get people on board and to get them excited about executing your idea.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. That's a wonderful tip. It's like, I love that. And it sounds like it's fun. To me, it feels like like paper dolls used to feel like,
yes.
Like, we'll pull this together and do this. And so a fun, creative exercise that will propel your future forward. So your career. So really cool. Right. Yeah. So tell us, anything that you want to share with us that we haven't covered. It's like we've just got a little bit more time. It's like you've shared so much with us. But
let me see.
Best advice you received?
The best advice I've ever received was to focus. I had a friend, John Karubi, and he said, Crystal, if you would just focus, you would be wildly successful. You can have too many irons in the fire. You can have a bunch of projects that are halfway done and nothing is finished. And it makes it hard. It makes it hard to gain traction in your business, in your life, and in your career. The other thing people don't always anticipate is that when you have too many irons in the fire, it's a lot of energy, and a lot of times there is money associated with bringing those projects to fruition. And if you have too many things going at once, you never have enough money to finish one important thing.
Very well put. Very well put.
Focus. Focus is the new black.
Okay. Somebody just got a big aha out there. So or it'll hit them tomorrow. It's like
right? Oh my gosh. Totally.
Yes. Yeah, you were looking for something. I don't want to interrupt you, but
no, I was just looking at the questions that you gave me to see. I wrote notes on everything. Okay. I'm trying to see if there's anything I haven't said.
Yeah, I don't want you to go to bed tonight just like, oh, I should have talked about such and such.
Let's see. Oh, one of the things that you asked me that I didn't touch on when you were asking about what has changed and what were my students doing. And what I forgot to say is that there are fewer obstacles now. There are more opportunities, and there are more opportunities to cross over. I'll tell you one of the ways that things have changed. When I first started repping artists, you either did print, videos, and TV commercials, or you did TV and film. They were
Oh.
like two completely different paths that you went on.
Right.
And you just stuck with that, kind of like you were an actor who did film or you were an actor who did TV.
Right. Okay.
Remember?
Yep.
So
yeah.
now the same thing has happened in the makeup and hair industry, in the entertainment industry. People cross over all the time. You can be working with a celebrity on a film, and it's not unusual to get hired when they do a print campaign to do that print campaign with them. However, I will say this, and I've said this for years, what makes the difference is having print work to show.
Okay. Okay.
Because if you're talking, let's say you get hired to do somebody like Charlize Theron on a film where she's in character and she gains 80 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes time to do In Style or Vogue,
Mm-hmm.
and all the work that you have to show her is what you did on that film, which turned her into a character.
Right.
She's not terribly confident that you can then turn her into a beauty queen on the cover of In Style magazine.
Right. Okay.
This is another reason why, even if you go into TV and film, it's a great idea to build a portfolio so you have something to show. That makes it easier for you to cross over and go back and forth. The other opportunities are behind the camera, you know, and in front, not just behind the camera, that's what they're already doing, but in front of the camera, doing makeover segments, becoming what do you call, a spokesperson. Huge opportunities. And one of my grads, Delina Medin, just did a class yesterday, totally sold out, to help people to get better on camera so they can take advantage of those kinds of opportunities, because working in front of the camera is different.
Right.
But if you are a hairstylist or a makeup artist and you just start to think about how many times you turn on the TV and somebody you may even know is doing a segment on a morning show.
Right. Uh-huh.
How can that segment on that morning show totally change your business?
Wow. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And
Right.
so I think that's another one of the areas that is just blossoming and blossoming. And then, of course, there's things like creating your own YouTube channel, those kinds of things. But it takes sitting down to think about it, coming up with what is your unique perspective.
Right.
Because everybody got a channel. What is your unique perspective? And then planning the work and working the plan. Because doing what you're doing right now is not easy unless you have a schedule, unless you nail down the people that you're going to talk to.
Right.
Way in advance, put them on the calendar, get everything scheduled. Otherwise, you're always running behind the 8 ball.
Right.
And I think an area where our community could use help is in planning and scheduling.
Any tips on that front? Because that is a challenge. I think I just learned, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, like that planning takes time. And it's like, oh, okay. You have to actually sit down and like think ahead and look, and it's like, and I have to schedule time to plan.
That's right.
Right. And
and you know what it's like? Not planning is like having an appointment someplace that is 15 minutes away when there's no traffic, and you're always late because you never actually leave early enough to get there when there is traffic.
Right.
Not planning is always betting on the come, betting that everything is going to work out. And when it doesn't, it's not professional. And when you don't have professionalism, people don't trust you and they don't want to give you money.
Huge.
Planning and scheduling is a huge thing. I've been trying to get my Stewie to do a class with me on planning and scheduling, because he has really helped me with my planning and scheduling. Now, there are some things I've always done a great job of planning and scheduling. My live workshops, I've always done a great job planning and scheduling that. But when it comes just to sit down and think about things like what I'm going to do on Instagram, I haven't always been good at that, but I'm getting better and better and better at it. And I'm learning how to delegate things to people to help me stay on top of my game.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely a huge lesson.
But it's like, I think even with my one-on-one coaching, I think that one of the things that artists would say that they get from me is a better sense of how to plan. How to plan and schedule. I teach planning and scheduling better than I do it, but I'm getting much better at it. But
yeah,
and I think too, the thing about having a coach and having assignments that you have to do every single week,
yes,
helps you to become a better planner and a better scheduler.
Absolutely. Yeah, that accountability piece for sure.
The accountability piece.
Yeah. So how can people learn more about what you are offering in terms of your Win Now program and
they can always go to my website.
Okay.
They can go to crystalwrightlive.com, crystalwrightlive.com. I actually have a Win Now mentorship program that is starting up in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's starting up in 2 weeks, and it is a combination of online learning and live sessions. So the modules open up week to week to week. You have the module, you watch the module, you do the homework, and then we meet every Wednesday and we discuss what you learned, and I answer all of your questions. I make sure it's like, I'm here to help you win. Right. I want you to win. So the topics that we cover are directly related to you becoming a better business person and a better creative collaborator and a better manager of what you have, because everything else is a hamster wheel.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's powerful. And so you guys is scrolling right across the bottom at crystalwrightlive.com. And she has a special offer for you guys for being here. So whether you're watching us live, which we're definitely enjoying all your comments, or you're catching this on the replay, it's like you can take advantage of working with Crystal with her Win Now program and also the book, right? The career guide. Okay.
And I don't know if it's going to show up backwards here.
Okay.
But I've got one that's
awesome. Okay.
This is the one with notes on it, right? But awesome. There you go. But that's what that's what it looks like. Okay. It's not thin, you guys. It's not thin.
No. And actually, I didn't bring mine to where I'm sitting right now. I'm like, I wouldn't be holding it up. But no, it is not thick. It's heavy and it's full and jam-packed of really, really powerful resources and insights and how-tos and all of those things that you really need to, get your career going and it's already going to take it to that next level.
Right. So, I have the book, I have my Win Now mentorship program, and then I have my one-on-one coaching, which I did with Keisha, has actually done the Win Now mentorship program, and she did one-on-one coaching with me. And, it's a perfect complement. It's a perfect complement. But it just depends on where you are. And I'm totally open. Nairi says, don't go into her classes playing games. Ooh, no, don't. Listen, I have been known to tell my clients, my coaching clients, I say, now, if you show up here every week and don't get your homework done, I am still going to go play golf with your money.
Okay,
So
right.
you might as well show up here and get this done, because I'm here to help you win.
Right.
And I mean, I love what I do. I love watching artists grow and blossom and have aha moments every single week when they get it. And then they can actually apply it. And when you take the Win Now Mentorship Program, it doesn't end. You can take it over and over again. You always have access to the information. You can always go back. You can always do it over. And the community of artists in the Win Now Mentorship Program is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I mean, you guys probably know, you might know Tony Garcia Jackson. Do you know Tony?
I don't know her personally, but yeah.
Okay. Tony is doing great. Tony did the Win Now Mentorship Program with me, and then she did one-on-one with me. Tony has been flying all around doing hair during the pandemic. And if you look at her Instagram, has taken off. I get text messages from her all the time. Crystal, look what I did.
Okay.
Yes. It's about understanding what you have to do to get the work, what you have to do to get your work in front of people, what you need to say, giving you the confidence to negotiate your rate and giving you the tools to know how to do it. But at the end of the day, none of it is a silver bullet. Right. None of it. The book is not a silver bullet. The class is not a silver bullet, and one-on-one coaching is not a silver bullet, because you still have to do the work.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. The ball's in your court.
Yeah. I am not over here dangling any shiny objects in front of you guys. I'm not doing
work
it.
Involved. Yep. And Keisha Mine says, love the Win Now program, and her one-on-one is everything. So yes. Yeah. So you guys visit crystalwrightlive.com. And she has a discount code that is scrolling across here where you can actually save 20% if you get signed up by the end of the month. So this is May, so it goes to May 31st. And it's my20 save 20, and it's MY20 SAVE 20 again. So definitely jot that down, run over to her website and
thank you, Fatima.
Fatima says great conversation. Okay, let's see. And Irene says, oh yes, and she did an intern with her in 2011.
Yes.
Information in the comments. I'm going to try to do that just right now. And Keisha says she loves that you can join the class every session, and the networking is amazing. So awesome. So let me see if I can get this information. So let me hide it for a second and get it.
And what's amazing about the networking is that you are networking with people who are as serious as you are.
Right.
About getting somewhere and making something happen.
Yeah. And you attract, like the best of the best, and you've already worked with the best of the best. And so it's like that becomes part of the network, and one of the reasons it's so powerful. So all right. I think I put it in there, guys. It's in
yes.
Yes. So, and it should be clickable. I can't tell from my end, but it should be, her website should be so that you can just click on it and go and enter the discount code. So yeah, I want to thank you so much for being here, Crystal. This has absolutely been amazing. It's like you are definitely, tops. So, I mean, I don't know that there's anything to say other than that. It's like you're a legend in the industry. You've definitely paved the way for a lot of people, opened a lot of doors for a lot of people, and set a lot of people up for success who are just really, off to the races right now. So congratulations to you.
Thank you
for all that you've done.
Thank you.
And thanks for flying back and
I know.
Join us. Yeah.
I feel the jet lag right now. I'm like, I am going to bed very soon. Very soon.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say to your audience is, you guys, I'm also on Instagram at Crystal Wright Live. DM me if you have a question. If you want to get on a call with me for like 15 minutes. I'll do a meet and greet with you. I'm happy to discuss what it is that you're doing and what you're trying to do to see if what I do have to offer is a fit. So if you want to do that, send me a message and say that you were on here today. Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that, Crystal. It's like everyone appreciates that. And Fatima says, thanks, Mickey, for this platform. So thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being part of this. I want to share a few things and we will say sayonara. So just to remind you, it's like if you did miss Fatima or any of the other Beauty Superstars talk, you can catch it on beautysuperstars.com, or you can actually go to youtube.com/Mickey Wright. Just MIKIWRIGHT. And if you'd like to partner with us, you can do that at Beauty Superstars Talk as well. It's like you can just look for the red button. And Tuesday, don't forget, mark your calendar and sign up and we'll send you a reminder. But we'll be back with my special guest, Weldon Bond, who is the founder of the Black Beauty Expo and advocate for Black entrepreneurship. And he will bring his perspective on the beauty industry and business and how we can move forward. And if you are in a salon suite or thinking about it, don't forget to download my free salon suite success guide at beautysuperstars.com. And also thanks again to the T's for sharing this information with their audience as well and having me on their show. And thanks again to our sponsor, Black Beauty Expo. It's like it's the hottest show for Black creative entrepreneurs in hair, fashion, photography, modeling, and makeup. And the next show is August 1st in Atlanta, Georgia. And as I mentioned before, I'm the Global Education Director for that. So if you're interested in being an educator, to let me know. Or if you want to expand your visibility and partner with Beauty Superstars Talk, to hit me up for more details. And we have one, let's see. Oh, wow. A couple more have come in. Let's see here. We can get a couple more things up. So Nairi says, thank you, Mickey. It was good seeing you. Crystal, miss you. And Keisha says, great show, Mickey Wright. Thank you very much, Keisha. I appreciate you being here. And there's a Facebook user that says, yes, love Beauty Superstar. Remember when you were putting this together and launched during COVID. Go, Mickey Wright. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate your support. And actually, after this month, it's like we're going to have a special month for next month as far as our topic, but we will have our 1-year anniversary. And so that is actually June 14th. We air on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that Tuesday, the 15th, is going to be our 1-year anniversary celebration. And I will be kind of interviewed myself with my sister will join me, and my best friend, who was actually my salon director when we had the salon and spa. And we will have a good time. And you guys can ask any questions that you want to ask. People tell me I don't tell my story, so I'll try to do better with that. So thank you so much, everyone, for your support. And Black Beauty Culture of Nova Scotia says good night, and thank you both. Great session. And it looks like it was D. Isaacs that said that. So thank you so much. But all of you guys have a wonderful evening. We appreciate you. Go visit Crystal Wright Live or check her out, Crystal Wright Live on Instagram. And so I'll see you guys back Tuesday and then again on Thursday. So sign up if you haven't already. Mark your calendars and we'll talk to you then. Take great care.
Bye.